Hey, welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Whalen Speed, they were fantastic, man. I can't say enough about those guys. Really good. Joining us now, some comedic royalty. The great Geno Bisconte, fresh off the Dennis Rodman roast, the fries. I was asked to do the roast. I had a lot of stuff to do. I couldn't get over there. They asked me kind of last minute. When you look at me, I know people don't think I'm busy, but I actually sometimes I have stuff to do.
Stuff going on.
I couldn't make over there. But what was it like, man?
It was fantastic.
Talk about a softball coming in waist level. Dennis Rodman.
Let me tell you. Let me put it in simplest terms that your fans will understand. A roast is as good as the dais and and the roast master, you know. And who was the roast master? The man that co-hosted last night, John Selly. He was amazing.
Yeah, John is good at what he does, man.
Well, like a lot of the and Rodman, these are absolute nobodies like myself, and my buddy Mike Morse, who and Nick
Mike's a real funny comic that I've known for a long time, and he's a really good writer of roast jokes.
Yeah.
He did a couple of those Howard Stern roasts that were the best roasts ever because they were really no holds barred. And Mike, if he didn't do one of them, he would write jokes for us, and he's great. So he did it.
He did it. A guy named Nick Stevens, who, if you follow sports,
I know Nick is. Yeah.
He was fantastic. A couple other people who you wouldn't know, but they went on, and it's Dennis Rodman could sit there and have but he was great with it the whole way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, if you're going to agree to do that, you got to have.
But sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't. You know.
Yeah.
Like they roasted, I was involved once, they roasted Omarosa years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And she's a nice girl, but she's like offended by it's like, stop it.
She's a jerk off.
I can't say it's not my show. I can't say she's a jerk off.
You could say whatever you want.
Well, you said off air you have a problem with most minorities, but that one really set you off.
Again.
That's right? That might have been Stover. That was before
the mic was on. What, can you give us a Dennis Rodman joke?
And I'm mad at you because remember how you were mad about my Rosa Perks joke last time I was on?
Well, say the Rosa Perks joke again.
Well, the joke I did 2 weeks ago with Ricky Schroeder, I said this is the worst idea for a roast since Starbucks came out with their short-lived plan for Black History Month called Rosa Perks.
Right. And it's a good joke. My problem with the joke is
Thank you very much.
It's got nothing to do. It's a funny joke. My problem is, as a comedian, a purist, my problem with the joke is there's nothing to do with Ricky Schroeder.
You're wrong,
you just crowbarred a joke in that makes no sense about Ricky Schroeder.
So to prove my point this time, remember the thing I texted you the next day?
Because of your lack of ability to write a Ricky Schroeder joke, you just tethered an old joke to Ricky Schroeder.
Let me tell you about the comedy business, Lange. When you do a roast, at first
you know knows a lot about the comedy business is the guy who sold you that shirt.
that shirt is amazing.
Really? Now he's shoehorning.
Who's talking over there? The drill sergeant to Boschetti in that shirt.
So then I tried to tweak it, and I said this is the worst. This is the most embarrassing idea for a roast since the Carnegie Deli bought a pig and made it into sandwiches called the
pork.
But I said the Rosa Perks again.
Oh, wait! Oh, you did
right at the roast.
Oh, so you bombed?
No, I did well. But I'm like, I mean porks, and
but then that joke had a bomb.
But no, it didn't because I saved it and acted like I did. I'm like, oh no, Artie said I couldn't pull that off, and I just dropped your name to save me. And instead of shoehorning a joke, I shoehorned in you.
There's no. And listen, any way I can help you, that's fine.
Well, thank you very much.
So you recovered from that?
Oh, I stuck the landing. It was very good.
What placement did you have? It's always big. I just did a roast recently. I did Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah,
that was Caroline. And
you were with Voss and Bonnie,
Voss,
right?
No, Voss didn't do it. We asked Bonnie. She's a bigger star. No, Voss did not do it, but Bonnie did it, and Norton.
Yeah.
And the roasts are difficult. Like I've done a bunch of them, but they're very hard sometimes.
Well, it all depends on the crowd and how they like. This crowd is a bunch of people who don't know what they want, so you can't backpedal. Like my haymaker joke was, I said Rodman. I said, when a great athlete leaves the game, normally, you understand this, what do? They go right into the announcer booth.
Exactly.
Or they get into coaching. But what has Rodman done since he left the game?
He's like an ambassador to Korea right now.
I said he did two terrible movies, and he did The Celebrity Apprentice. I said, he's the only thing in pro sports lazier than you is Stuart Scott's left eye. That's what I said.
Again.
And then I said, and much like his left eye, the last time either one of you peaked was 1996. And you don't backpedal on that. Or is that's a shoehorn?
Again, that's tethering a joke.
No, it is
about
not.
Stuart. That's a great. If you were roasting Stuart Scott, that would be great.
Tell me a great Bourdain joke you did, and I'm not questioning you that you say. Give me an example of a roast joke that is not tethering.
I said, roasting Anthony Bourdain is the greatest idea for a roast since Rosa Parks came up.
You son of a bitch.
I don't even remember. What did I say about him? I don't know.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
I forget. I don't know. I did it like I was there and I forget. I forget what I said.
And
See,
all
when you have a career with other stuff in it, you forget nights like that.
I don't know what you're talking about. Meanwhile, I had money on Duke the whole time, and there's no cell reception at the Friars
Did
Club.
you do that? Did you? Now, where do they do it at the Friars Club? In that big room?
In the big, I don't know the name.
They
like
probably
it's a
charge people $8,000.
Exactly. My guy's like, hey, is that going to be on TV? I said, no, they don't televise it. They tell people to come and they charge $8,000 to come get a seat.
The first roast I did on Comedy Central was also called the Friars Club Comedy Central roast.
How long ago was that?
That was 2001.
What is that? A Bobcats
Was
lid?
2000? What is this? Is that Bobcats?
I don't know. I was wondering that.
Somebody
earlier.
gave me a hat.
It's a great hat, but I can't figure it out.
Somebody gave me a hat, and I don't know what it is.
It might be the Charlotte Bobcats.
It might be.
is.
It might
No,
be.
it's an M. There's an M on the back. I think it's a college team. I think it's a
Yeah,
college
let me
team.
come up with something.
Mizzou? No.
No, it's not Mizzou.
Because everyone, did you see the Beavers change their logo?
Oregon State?
If you were a DJ, you know what your name should be? Screeching Halt. Thanks for bringing up a visual.
Way to shoehorn in your Screeching Halt joke, Lang.
Let's see if I was a Geno Bisconte roast. No, okay, the Stuart Scott thing was. I'll tell you why I'll give you a break on the Stuart Scott thing.
A break,
because
thank you.
At least he's in the world of sports. And Dennis Rodman.
Nothing's ever good enough for you.
No, you're very funny. You're very funny.
I know you're just
How
being
much
nice.
pressure? I guess I should have asked
No, go
Artie
ahead.
as much
No,
as I'm with
go ahead.
Artie, but no, how much pressure is there to always be on? Like when you're with your buddies, are you expected to like just be the funny guy every moment?
I think every comic is different, and I'm like this all the time. Like, you see, I like
Do
hanging
you
out
always
with
feel
people.
pressure to be annoying?
No, no pressure, always annoying, without a doubt. You know me. This is what we do. We hang out. I'm like, yo, buddy.
No, it is fun. Because Brent, you're right. That's a good question, but it's insecurity. Were you probably get pie insecurity by being a nice, good-looking guy. With us,
Handsome
with us,
son
you
of a
have to-
bitch. Good bone structure. This is DJ Screeching Halt.
Right. Screeching Halt coming at you with another reference to something visual on the radio. No, yeah, but it is. It's insecurity. It's how you. I think if you find out you're a funny person on some level, and the only way you find that out is by other people letting you know because they laugh at it. Then you use that in every situation to get out of fights, to get out of negotiations, to get out of romantic, intimate stuff with a woman. To try to talk to a woman, you use humor.
Yeah.
And then eventually someone shoehorns you into saying, why don't you do stand-up? And you're like, no. And then you get up once and you're addicted to it.
Did someone suggest to you, Geno, that you do stand-up? Is that what?
My ex-fiance from the mid-'90s signed me up for an open mic, and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't be funny on purpose. And I did it once, and I bombed. But I was kind of glad that I bombed because I'm like, oh, this is hard work, and I just got addicted to it, and I like doing it.
Even after bombing? Because I bombed my first, 4 or 5 times.
But I know you're sorry. I killed the first time I did it, but I killed because I wasn't funny, but I was in front of about 100 people I knew. So I'm like, oh, I'm great at this.
What was that, a party or something?
No,
a
it was.
wedding?
I used to live in Wilmington, Delaware, and I went to school in Newark, and basically I had
what a glamorous lifestyle.
yeah, exactly. Shout out Bluehead.
Went to school in Newark. I was living in Wilmington.
Yeah.
Boy.
At least I know the difference between Clementon, New Jersey, and Clementine, the small
I
little
said
orange.
words like I'm supposed to know. It's spelled Clementine, New Jersey.
No, I'm acting out. I'm swinging back at you. You don't like that, do you?
I did a Levy gig at a diner in
You anyone else want to be a hero? Look, my point is.
Artie, I saved Geno from getting in a fight one time upstate.
He did.
What'd
he
you
did.
do?
We're at Syracuse. Shout out Jeff Condon. We're at Syracuse.
Yeah.
And you're doing and some girl is at the bar and she starts hitting on you. And was she not flirting with me, Mike?
She was a skank.
So obviously she's flirting with
Well,
me.
what is that? Well, yeah, Mike, geez. I mean, that was very hostile.
No, but she was. Artie.
It sounds like you were jealous that Geno was getting hit on.
No, he's a great friend.
So
of
like a
ours.
nice guy, and he was a nice. So she starts talking nice. I'm like, hey, and then I say something flirty back because it's after the show and I'm hanging out and I don't know where. And all of a sudden, some guy reaches over my shoulder, swings around, is like, who are you talking to? And Mike runs over, he's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, wait, it was the girl's boyfriend or something?
Yeah, but the girl was just bartending. You don't know she has a boyfriend. She's just flirting with everyone. And
Maybe
then,
the guy was offended by your Rosa Parks joke.
I hadn't written the Rosa Parks joke. I just had a knock-knock
This
joke
was
about watermelon.
This was years ago.
Yeah.
Well, you're very good with current events because the Rosa Parks joke could have been fine then, too. 42 years ago.
Don't go you want, but
tough
you are
crowd.
getting so much, like, you know.
Do you feel you did well tonight? Did you go? Did you go
I feel I
early
did
in
well.
the lineup? You go early.
I went 6 guys. Daddy went 4th. You know,
You were,
3, 4, 5 was Nick Stevens, me, Mike Morse.
Do you know? I don't think I've ever had a creepier moment on the air than when you just Daddy went 4th.
Liz,
So you were-
Daddy went 4th.
You were cleanup.
I was.
That's good.
I
Well,
was.
I mean, so now who was last?
The last was this girl, Yamanika, but I'll tell you something that was
Yamanika.
Yamanika Sanders.
Oh wait, was this a contest?
It's the final of the contest. I
Okay,
thought I
so
told you that.
right now Fry's Club figured out a way to make some more money. That
That's what it is.
They take young comics or open micers and they say, look, you can become a Fryer if you are the best roaster.
I'm going to tell you the 2 reasons they do this, and I say this with all due respect to the Friars because they're old, and by making a contest with younger comics, well, then they get a presence online with Twitter and Facebook, which helps. And 2, yeah, they get new people, but, you know, they get the people out there and they get people in. They make money on these roasts, which, you know, started, like, Comedy Central is great, but the way they do roast, it doesn't do justice because they're cookie cuttering comedy. Is that the right word, cookie cuttering?
What are you talking about?
The way Comedy Central does the roast,
Yeah.
people expect it to be like the cookie cutter stand-up shows they see, but the roast need to be edgier. That's why you get guys.
Well, the Comedy Central roasts are edgy, though.
Yeah, but the crowds don't seem to like. Perfect example. Schumer's great on the roast. She does that joke about Steve-O and the guy Dunn, and goes, when he died, we all wished it was
Right.
you. And people are like, oh, she should apologize. And thank God it's like, I'm not going to apologize. Meanwhile, you get other guys like, who was it? Wayne Brady's like, that just totally breaks the code and goes, he does a joke and people complain. He's like, well, let me say this. I apologize. I didn't write the joke, which you shouldn't say. You
Wayne
know?
Brady's of that?
Yeah, he's like, I didn't write the joke, and I thought I shouldn't have said it.
Asking Wayne Brady to be part of anything
But you-
that's related to comedy is an offense, you know.
But you're proving my point in the way that's why, like, I love Comedy Central, but maybe they shouldn't be doing the roast, but Friars are bringing it back. Like, look, this is old school. And by the way, kudos again to John Sally, who, after the first guy went, he did a couple edgy jokes, and Sally, instead of just being like, I don't care about this, he committed. He's like, that's how it's going to go, people. He gave them, he's like, and this is a big man. He's like, that's how it's going to go.
All right.
If you've never been to a roast, the guy's great. And it made the roast easy for everyone to follow.
It sounds like you're bitter you don't get asked to do the Comedy Central roast.
Do you know who I am? Exactly.
But that's what it sounds like. You're lashing
I'm
out,
not
and
bitter.
now you've just secured.
I'm
never
not
getting
bitter that
one.
I don't get to do Comedy Central. Look, I say this, I could headline any room in the country. I couldn't fill a single room in the country. I couldn't.
No, you could. No, listen. You are a man. I've seen you in horrible situations.
Opening for you in Miami. Bichetti was there, and you're on the side. They're hating me. You're like, you can stop if you want. I'm like, I'm
When
going to
was
keep
that?
going.
Did you come to the Jackie Gleason Theater that day?
Yeah,
that was a legendary
And
gig.
they hated me.
Yeah,
and,
but that wasn't your fault.
No, and I'm not.
That was a nutty crowd.
But you literally, like, you're like, do 5, do. He's like, you're like, do 20. But if they hate you, you can get off. And they're hating me 7 minutes in, and Artie's on the side going, what do you want to do? That's great. And I did another 15. He's like, thanks, dude. You know?
Either way, I was getting 60 G's.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. You're like, you can get off in 2 minutes. You're going to pay me anyway. And then you're like, how much did it cost you to fly here? I'm like, 700. And you're like, okay. I'm like, I should have said 17. You would have been like, here you go.
Oh, wait,
Such
that's
a
right. I
dope.
forgot what I.
I'm such a dope.
No,
I'm
but
like,
you were being
$2
honest.
grand. I bought the plane.
You were being honest. I appreciate it.
Never again.